Yeah, the first half was a really strange game where United didn't offer anything and then go in at half-time 1-0 up and score the goal. Interesting how United scored in the first half, and I think their performance was better in the second, and Arsenal scored in the second half and their performance was better in the first. Some of the old sort of patterns of problems for these two teams appeared on the day. I think we saw that United in the first half looked really void of confidence, didn't they? They just looked like they were waiting to get beat, but the team that were playing against them couldn't really create anything. They're recycling it really well. Some of the passing from the back and through midfield to the edge of the United box was decent, but they came up against the United team that was sort of quite well organised in that 5-4-1, and they couldn't get through it. Arsenal didn't have the innovation, they didn't have the sort of one-on-one ability in wide areas, and they didn't also have, I think, a centre-forward who can make the runs alongside Manchester United centre-backs who had that sort of killer eye for goal, and Marino's doing a good job up there, sort of filling in. But it hit home in the first half, particularly when Arsenal had 70% of the ball. United didn't really attack at all until well into injury time in the first half. What a problem Arsenal have and why they're so far behind Liverpool, and it's cost them a Premier League title. And I've said it over the last few weeks. I think these players can feel let down. I think the manager can feel let down. I think they should have been supplied over the last year or so with a striker. And I'm not talking about a striker. I mean, striker could have got injured, but Havertz and another striker and Jesus. So for me, they've left themselves woefully short of attacking players. They have had injuries, but you've got to plan for that. You know, the reason we had 4 centre forwards back in the day, the reason Liverpool have got 6 forwards now that can interact and play, and Darwin Núñez can come on yesterday and, you know, pick up the pieces of someone else who doesn't quite hit the form on the day, is because you need that in a season. You need to be able to call upon people and rely upon your bench and your squad. And Arsenal, I think, have fallen short, and it was more evident in the first half, I think, than ever.
I asked you this a bit in the game, and it maybe sounds like a naive question, but I do think people are interested. Marino's playing centre forward. You're willing to say he's a very, very good footballer. He's not doing anything, quotes, wrong. No. But what is it that's missing? What does what you might call a qualified striker have that Mikel Marino doesn't have?
Well, it becomes obvious when you start to think, well, what would happen if Thierry Henry was up there, or Robin van Persie, or even Lacazette and Aubameyang in the last few years? You know, it's just basic. I mean, he's doing a job up there. He's controlling it. He's passing it wide, but he's not living on the shoulder. He's not smelling moments in behind. He's doing the basics right. He's filling in. He's not a centre forward. If you put someone up there who could link with people better, who could make runs in behind, who could score goals, whose job it is been all their lives to score goals, then you just see a direct advantage straight away. And Arsenal have needed this for a couple of years. They've been woefully short in that department, and I just don't know why they've ended up in this position. And Marino, look, he's doing a good job. This is not a criticism of Marino or any of the players. They may be able to improve in wide areas as well, but I think Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Nwaneri, I think they're good enough. I think between them, they've got some decent wide players. I think Ødegaard's a good, off the front player. I think Rice makes good runs from midfield, and we've seen him contribute in attacking areas today. Marino can obviously do that as well, but they lack a focal point up top that can do the job for them.
And do you believe that is the single, or at least the single most important reason why Liverpool have got away from Arsenal?
Yeah, better attacking options. I think Liverpool don't have to play well to rely upon their front six to deliver. Liverpool can play deep. Liverpool have, in certain games, you've seen play 3 or 4 different styles. Sometimes they go direct, sometimes they'll play deep and play counter-attack. Arsenal can't even counter-attack. So Arsenal can't counter-attack, and when they have the ball in possession in the final third, they can't really innovate and play through. So the 2 ways you score goals in games, three ways, is set pieces, and set pieces they've been pretty good at. Weren't that great today, but set pieces they're doing well on. The other 2 areas that you mainly score goals from is when you're in possession dominating the game as a top team, or when you're counter-attacking and you can really go quickly. They find themselves always having to come back and recycle and play it across the field. And predictable, safe. They're doing a good job at times, but they need players who can interact with each other and quicken up the play in the final third, and that's what really good top players do. And Liverpool are just better in the final third than them, and the attacking metrics show that Arsenal are very good defensively, even though I thought in the second half today United, to be fair, had 3 or 4 big chances, but they still, through their goalkeeper and back 4, only concede 1 goal.
we'll tidy up the rest of the top of the table, Liverpool, Forest and City afterwards, but perhaps we should deal with Manchester United first. Was there something there to encourage you today?
A little bit. I mean, I'd like to touch on the Manchester United goal,
of course,
on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's strange, really. I mean, Arsenal are quite a wise team, and they're usually cute. And I just thought they got. I mean, look, at the end of the day, the referees pushed them back too far, which is a mistake. But ordinarily, you would start to sense you're too far away, and you start to creep forward, and they didn't do that. And it ends up that Bruno Fernandes has that ability to play it over the wall. So I think that's something that needs mentioning. Coming on to United. They don't like playing here at the moment. This is it's a struggle for them. There's just a sort of weight on their shoulders that exists that means that they find it difficult. But they can in moments when they get a goal, all of a sudden just rise. And you saw that. Second half, I thought they played some decent stuff. I mean, they're obviously still up against it at times with Arsenal, but they created some big moments. There's some big chances out there for United. Raya made some great saves. Højlund, again, demonstrates why he's just not quite sharp enough in front of goal. I think he could have got the shot away quicker when Declan Rice tackles him. His touch could have been a little bit to the left. But I think Ruben Amorim will be really happy with the second half. I'm just looking here at expected goals that we're looking at on your sheet. United have got higher expected goals than Arsenal in that game. And that doesn't surprise me because I think some of the chances that United had in the second half were big. I thought that was a good second half for United. I mean, they didn't score in the second half, but I thought the performance was so much better. I think United fans can live with that. If they're defending deep, but then there's still a threat going forward, that isn't a problem. I think the first half is a problem when you're defending deep and you offer nothing. I mean, the first shot on goal was Bruno's free kick. It was a great free kick. But, yeah, I think the second half was a lot better. I think Ruben Amorim, after this last, it could have gone really badly wrong for him this week. You think about after Fulham last week and going out of the FA Cup, you could see that maybe if they get beat in Sociedad and then obviously come here and get beat, it would have been a real dampener coming into the next game at Old Trafford next Thursday against Real Sociedad, which is the return leg. But actually, I think they'll feel a little bit more confident leaving the stadium tonight, the United players. What could have been a difficult few days, actually I think has been a decent few days for them. And, we've got to remain calm because there were still elements of that performance which were well short. But at least they got the result and they did pick up in the second half.
Yeah, and he spoke, I thought, interestingly this week. He always has something interesting to say, doesn't he, Ruben Amorim, about scarred players. I mean, and I guess that plays into what you're saying about the difficulty of playing here in front of 70,000 with all the same old expectation, but without the sort of underbelly of success and self-belief and all of that. And he spoke of anxiety, and maybe to some extent that second half was a little bit of a healing second half.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, half-time, I said just after half-time that I think Ruben Amorim goes in at half-time and says, look, lads, what are you worried about? Just play. The goal gives him something to be able to obviously encourage them on. They feel like they've got something to sort of play to and hang on to. And also that Arsenal couldn't hurt them. That's the one thing I think Ruben Amorim will have been saying at half-time is, look, you've sat back there and Arsenal have thrown everything at you in terms of possession, but they've not been able to break you down. That next step is just show a little bit of confidence in your attack. And I thought through Garnacho and I think through Bruno Fernandes, I think Xerxes as well, there were moments in that second half where I thought that they could sort of build on a little bit in terms of confidence. But you're absolutely right. They are void of confidence, and this place is huge. I mean, the stadium's big. It's the biggest stadium in the country when it comes to, obviously, Premier League and league football. And it's an expectant crowd, and the microscope is on you all the time. You can't get away from it. But that's why they signed here. That's what they wanted. That's the glory that comes with scoring the winner and the celebrations and the obviously healthy pay packet as well. So you can't have it always. You need to be able to make sure that the sort of negative will come.
Ruben, before the game, I think Manchester United fans might have taken a draw, and after the game they'll feel like they should have gone on and won it, won't they?
They had emotion, and that's why they want to be here. I know it's hard to see, especially in the first half, to see our team defending a little bit in the low block and trying to understand the right moment to press. I know that is hard for a fan in Manchester United, but today we were focused with all the problems trying to win the game, and we show that.
Is that actually a real benefit out of today, is that you did defend in a slightly deeper position, but they kept the shape that you wanted them to keep, and you found those transition moments where
they follow the plan, and that is, and they believe it. And you can see it every time we had the ball. They believe it, and that was a very good point in our performance today, and also when we suffered the goal, the team was not lost and tried to win the game again, and that is a good thing also.
Yeah, really good reaction from everyone. Does that give a bit of momentum, some real positivity going into Thursday now?
I think we have, it's going to be a very good environment, but we have to be really smart. It's going to be a tricky game, but I think the environment is going to be really good, and the players are looking for that game.
We've gone from maybe not creating enough chances to now creating plenty of chances. We just need some conversion of those chances now.
Yes. But today also we have to give credit to the goalkeeper of Arsenal. He did amazing saves, but we are creating chances, and that is the most important thing.
Raymond, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Christian, congratulations on the point. I think felt like it could potentially have been more.
No, yeah, I think our overall feeling was that we wanted more. With the chances we had, I think we could have and should have had more points.
Given how many chances you are now creating, it feels like it's just the next step to start converting a few more of these. Is that what it feels like in the dressing room?
No, I think it is. The belief is a bit more the getting the chance, like you said, and just putting them away. But yeah, today Raya had a very good game from their goalkeeper, obviously, which kept them in the game.
It's a slightly lower block than we're used to seeing from Manchester United. Today, though, felt a bit different. You were able to keep your shape and find those moments on the transition where maybe you haven't been able to do that previously.
Yeah, no, I think obviously Arsenal is a good team coming here at the position we're in. Yeah, we need to get the points we can, and playing in a low block was the plan today, and I think we tried to do that as good as possible. And like I said, the few chances we had, we could have nicked it, and we should have.
I saw Lisandro Martinez come into the dressing room before the game. I wonder whether seeing a teammate like that just gives everybody a good feeling before you go out and play Arsenal.
Yeah, no, we see him often at the training ground, obviously. So he's still one of the boys, and we know what he's going through with his rehab, and a few other guys obviously was injured. But no, anyone who comes and supports the games is a good sight, and yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to come back ready.
And just finally now, looking ahead to Thursday, you go into that game with a real sense of positivity, I guess.
Yeah, no, obviously we go into the game with belief. We got a draw there, so we know there's a lot to play for on Thursday. We need a win, easy as that. So yeah, there's one thing on our mind.
Christian, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thoughts on your team and their efforts today?
I think we did well. Of course, we don't want to play like this, defending so much and giving the ball to the opponent. But with all the games, with all the problems, and then the characteristics of the players, try to leave Lindelof, for example, without games, trying to let him without a lot of meters to cover. Casemiro is more comfortable in this kind of game, so I try to adapt and to imagine the game that we could win, and we proved that today.
Are you on the back foot mainly because it's a tactical decision from yourself, given the options you've got, the players you have available?
It's also the opponent. The last game for Champions League was high pressure from PSV, man to man, and they are harder to mark in this way. In the low block, we can control more the game, and then we have some good players for transition. I think Garnacho made a really complete game. So he was upset last Thursday, and today it was amazing.
That said, once you went ahead in the game, did you feel like the confidence grew and you became a much more threatening side?
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal, and we try to let the starting 11 until the goal, because you know that when you suffer a goal, all that the players tired from the last games is going to show, and we push a little.
Amorim's men have already lost 12 top-flight matches and were on course for another as Everton punished some weak play and poor defending on their final trip to Goodison Park. Beto and Abdoulaye Doucouré made it 2-0 at the break, only for Fernandes to spark a comeback by scoring a free kick and sending over another that led to Manuel Ugarte securing a 2-2 draw. However, Shearer hadn't forgotten what took place in the first half, pointing the finger at Bruno Fernandes, Rasmus Højlund and Diogo Dalot for their defensive work in the first 45 minutes, labeling their efforts pathetic. He was not impressed with the way in which Dalot stood off Everton winger Jack Harrison for one of Everton's attacks, while he criticised Hodgland and Fernandes for their hopeless pressing in the build-up to Ducour's strike. "Watch Man United, watch this, I mean this is pathetic," the Premier League's all-time top scorer said on Match of the Day. "You've got players who are walking. There's no point in going in ones and twos, look at the space Everton have got to play in. Look at Harrison, look at Garner," Shearer told Match of the Day. "Both wanting the ball, both wanting to receive the ball. And if they get it, Dalot is 8 yards off. Why aren't you 1 yard off, and if they get it, putting a crunching tackle in? Then the run of Garner at will, at ease. All of a sudden they're into your back three. Same thing again, you go from left to right, take 2 touches, 3 touches, pick your head up, pick your pass, go wherever you want because it's so easy for you, because no one's working. To me it's confused.com. I'm not sure they know what they're doing in there. Look at the effort or lack of it. Everton's second goal is the worst one of the lot. Watch this from Bruno Fernandes, when Ducour gets the ball. Seriously, is that the best you can do? Take a touch, play in behind, and Everton get the goal which they really deserve. So the difference between the two teams, and for 72 minutes Man United were hopeless. I look at some of the players and they're really struggling. Amorim admitted after the game that his team were invisible in the first half. "We just played one half and we managed to draw the game," he said. Bruno Fernandes was one of the players who was singled out for criticism by Shearer. The pundit wasn't impressed with Diogo Dalot after the defender stood off Jack Harrison. Rasmus Højlund was one of the stars, labelled pathetic for their effort getting back to defend. "We didn't exist in the first half. Everything we did in the week, I think the free man was there, I think the space was there, but I think we lost balls we cannot lose. Anyone that watches Everton know they will be really good on second balls, and the 2 goals are second balls. That's why you get disappointed. But let's not just focus on the negatives. In the second half I said no matter what the result, we are going to do what we did during the week but with a little bit more energy. I think you saw it was not different in the positions, it was different in the quality with which we played the game." Ruben Amorim claims Man United looked soft in 2-2 draw with Everton. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has criticised his Manchester United players by claiming they looked soft in their 2-2 draw at Everton. The Red Devils looked set for another defeat when Beto and Abdoulaye Doucouré put the Toffees 2-0 up. But Bruno Fernandes sparked a comeback with a free kick in the 72nd minute before Manuel Ugarte ensured the points were shared at Goodison Park. Despite the draw, Amorim was left unhappy with his side as they stretched their winless streak in the league to 3. He told TNT Sports, "We need to win 3 points and we need to win the whole game. The worst part is that we are losing the ball without pressure and we are not doing what we need to do. We were soft." Ruben Amorim has accused Manchester United of being soft during their draw at Everton. The Red Devils looked set for defeat when the hosts took